How to write heavy metal riffs? Well, you write it Heavy space M. See what I did there? So the first thing you need is to get your sound right. So you want high gain, which means distortion or high gain amp. So tuning, you need to decide what sort of tuning you want. So you might go with standard tuning, or you might want to go with drop tuning, or you might want to tune really low down to B or something even lower like B flat. You need Earl Grey tea, preferably in a fine bone china cup. Okay, so you will need to learn some techniques if you're going to write heavy metal. So the first thing that you need to do is make sure you're playing cleanly. So for example, now there are no notes ringing out. When I play, there aren't any other notes ringing out. If I'm playing like this, that sounds horrible and there's loads of feedback and extra string noise going on. So you need to learn to control your guitar. So that is mainly done with your left hand when you're muting the strings that you're not playing, and your right hand by keeping it near the bridge. So you notice here, both my hands, as soon as I stop playing, are on that neck, stopping any noise. So that's the next thing, you need to learn to control your guitar. Because at bedroom levels it's not too bad, but when you crank your amp up at rehearsal or at a gig, it's going to squeal like a mother unless you learn to fix that. So the next technique you need to learn is muting. So muting is where you get your hand and you put it on the bridge just enough to deaden those strings. You don't want it too far back or it won't do anything. You don't want it too high or it'll change the pitch. You need it right on the bridge there, so you get that percussive sound but without changing the pitch. So along with muting, you need to be able to mute and unmute, mute and unmute. So that's something that takes practice and can only come from putting the hours in. So mute, unmute, mute, unmute. I've got a heavy metal guitar lesson for beginners, which should be about here if you click. So have a look at that because I'll spend a bit more time on it there. So other techniques you need to learn. So hammering and pulling off, key. So again, there are lots of techniques around for this and lots of videos. I've got some videos which show you how to do that. Try clicking here and that should show you. Okay, pitch harmonics is another thing. So again, there are loads of videos on YouTube to teach you pinch harmonics, but you will need to learn those, or I recommend you learn those anyway. So the next thing you need to figure out is what harmonies sound good in metal. So for example, minor as a rule will sound good and major will sound not as good. What do I mean by minor? Okay, so here is a major sixth. It's a bit happy. Here's a minor sixth. that's minor, this is major. So that sounds a bit too happy. So minor harmonies sound better. Obviously the most obvious thing you need to learn is your fifths. So a fifth is just a note which is the next string and 2 frets up. So if here, there will be the fifth. And open. So fifths and fourths. So a fourth is on the same fret but 1 string down. Until you get to the G string, and then it all changes, but you're probably not going to do many fifths up there anyway, so I'm not even going to bother showing you that. Ninths always sound good. A ninth is basically 9 notes up from the note you start from in the major scale. If you're playing lower, there's your ninth. Sounds good. What else sounds good? A diminished fifth sounds good. Don't want to hold on to it for too long. So diminished fifth is in between a fourth and a fifth. So it's this note here. So if I've got the 7, I'll be playing the 8. That helps. Octaves. You definitely need to know about octaves. So an octave, you will simply find, instead of a fifth where you're 1 string down but 2 frets up, you're 2 strings down and 2 frets up. So again, you need that sound, so that's a good one to learn. Don't be afraid of melody. So some of the heaviest bands use great melody. So there's a melody right there. There's even melody in riffs, so have a listen to this. This is actually a melody. So that's a melody. So there's melody all the way through in metal riffs. You just got to listen out for it. Use silence. Don't just play all the way through everything. So even in a riff as simple as that, which is so well known, there's a lot of silence in there. So don't be afraid of silence. So use that to your advantage. Another well-known riff that uses a little bit of silence. So again, there's just small gaps in there, but that makes a difference. Another good technique is pinching a rhythm from a different song. So here's an example. So everybody knows that. So what I'm going to do is take that beat, dun 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 dun. So exactly the same rhythm, but I've changed the notes and it sounds completely different. So, if you've got a favourite song or even a piece of classical music, something pop, you can just pinch that rhythm and make it heavy to give you some ideas. Now this finger is very important. Don't neglect it. So, So, if you don't use your little finger, that's 25% of your hand, not including your thumb. So, you'll be a 25% better guitar player just by using your little finger. So get used to using it. Train yourself. So now, using the metronome, we're going to play a riff, and we're going to play it 1 pick per beat, 2 picks per beat, 3 picks per beat, and 4 picks per beat. Now I'm just going to use the metronome as an example, so set your own settings based on where you're comfortable. So here's the riff, and we are in standard tuning. So again, slowly, 5, 8, 7, 8. 5, 8, 7, 8. 7 here though. 4, 7, 6, 7. 4, 7, 6. Back up to 7. So again, one more time. So now let's put the metronome on and play. So I've got the metronome set at 132 beats per minute. And I'm playing one note for every 2 clicks. Now I'm going to do exactly the same but muted. So now we're going to play 2 notes for every click. So that's down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Now we're going to do exactly the same, muted. Now we're going to play 3 notes per click. Now the same thing, muted. Now 4 notes per beat. Now the same thing, muted. Okay, so again, pick a riff and just build up the speed and try it muted and open, and that will improve your picking. Make sure you practice on all strings. So let's just pick an arpeggio pattern. So that's 5, 8, 7, 7, 5, 5, 5, 8, 12, 8, 10, 9, 10, 12, 7, 8, 5. So what we're going to do, we're going to play that pattern 1 note at a time, 2 notes at a time, 3 notes at a time, 4 notes at a time, and we're going to try to be very clean and not make any errors on the way up and the way back. So here's picking 1, down, up, down, up. Now we're going to pick in 2s, and we're going to start with a downstroke. Now again, don't worry about the speed, worry about the accuracy. Now we're going to pick 2, starting with an upstroke. Now we're going to pick in threes, and we're going to start with a downstroke. Now we're going to pick threes, and we're going to start with an upstroke. Now we're going to pick fours, and we're going to start with a downstroke. And now we're going to pick fours, starting with an upstroke. Okay, so keep on going, then we can do 5, 6s, 7, 8s. Set your metronome to a tempo that you find comfortable, and then move it to a place you find uncomfortable. So I recommend 10 BPMs above where you feel comfortable. Play that for 10 minutes. When you move it back, you'll feel fine, and it'll feel easier. If you're getting tension in your wrist, you're doing something wrong. It should feel relaxed. So a good rule of thumb is to pause every now and then and just think, am I feeling tension anywhere? If you are, just relax that part of your body and start over again.